welcome, welcome to our Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us, and we would like you to sing with us this morning on a sing-along song called Make Your Own Kind of Music. So we've got our beautiful song leaders up there, and words, and we're ready to go.
Welcome to our Sunday celebration service. My name is Karen Allen. I am one of your staff ministers here at the center. And an especially warm welcome to those of you who are new to our center. We are a center that believes that no matter who you are or where you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And one of our guiding principles here at the center is that if you change your thinking, you can change your life. Right, yay. And we honor all paths to the one. And so we start with our flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as Dr. Heather lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And please join me in prayer. And let's know this truth together, that there's just this one life, this one love, this one light, this one energy, this one power and presence. It is all that there is. Living, moving, breathing everything into existence. And it is who and what each one of us is. We are its beloved. We are its expression. We are its love, its peace, its wholeness, its creativity. And I know that each one here is a beautiful, blessed expression and reminds themselves by means of this service today that they are that one. Each one here receives a gift by means of the message, by means of the music, by means of someone here, our community. For there is always that givingness of spirit that is received, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing. And I know that this service is a conduit for that gift. And that each one here leaves here knowing so much more of who they are and what they are, realizing their own divinity, their own connection, and the love that is ever present everywhere. And so I simply give thanks for this truth, give thanks for each one here, for the blessings that pour over us 24/7, 365. And I let go, I let God. Please join me in saying, and so it is. And now I would like to invite Patrick Freeman up to the platform to share our declaration and our affirmation.
Thank you, Reverend Karen. Good morning and welcome, everybody. So I'm going to read this. We know the drill. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to read it together. Oh, here it is. I now release.
I believe.
Okay. I believe in God,
The one creative intelligence, operating through the universe, and operating without our being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates on the law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is.
Okay, here we go. Back to the old way. I now release myself from the limits I have allowed my desires and opinions to impose on my perceptions. Freely and joyously I open to divine guidance as it is revealed to me moment by moment, and so it is.
Thank you, Patrick, so much. That's what happens when you change things up in the service, right? So I would like to welcome the Jewel Tones Choir, our soloist spot for today, and our guest accompanist, Jules. There he is. And this first song we're doing is called Together, Hand in Hand, and it pretty much says how we feel as far as music and working together as a community and a choir, and I'm so grateful for these beautiful volunteers with their beautiful voices and wonderful hearts.
you, choir. That was absolutely incredible. So pretty, so beautiful, and so relevant always for us. The whole theme of the month is self-awareness is not enough. And today's title again comes from Living the Science of Mind. And the title is Desire, Opinion, and Revelation. Boy, that sounds kind of confusing. Revelation, we don't really talk about revelation so much anymore, but all it means is prediction. So revelation means prediction of the future. And all the prophets down through the ages have all said that they are revealing, prophesizing God's holy word. And Ernest Holmes says that they may have sincerely thought so. And some of them were, but if everything is colored, filtered through our perceptions, through our race consciousness, through our belief, through the whole sum total of our consciousness. And so the prophets that have said, kill, kill, kill for the glory of God, and they've been every religion, are false prophets, because there is nothing glorious about taking life. The life principle could not say kill, kill, kill. But it certainly could come through the consciousness of an individual. I'd like to begin my message with Dr. Ken Gordon's video. And it's just about 3 minutes, and he sets the stage for what this message is all about. And then I will take over from there if we're ready to go, Deborah. We're not quite ready. Okay, well, who hasn't been watching the Olympics? Okay, who hasn't been watching the figure skating? Okay, two people that I saw hands go up. It's, to me, that as a kid, that I was always on the ice from the first day of winter till spring. And the girls got it, the figure skaters got it in the morning early because the hockey players got it in the afternoon and evening. And so we were there at 6 o'clock till 8:30 and then would walk to school after that. I loved the ice, I loved to figure skate. Okay, now we're ready.
Hi, Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon, spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living, coming to you with the third week in February on our 2018 theme. And the theme for the month of February is self-awareness is not enough. Now, this is brought to us by Reverend Trish Hall, who's the spiritual leader at CSL Metro, Washington, D.C. And her topic is desire, opinion, and revelation. I often say that it's important that we stop basing our values on our opinions and start basing our opinions on our values. Amen. This is the transformational change that's required for each and every one of us to be able to really be effective in the world and to live to our ideals that we hold to be true. Far too often in the world around us, what I see people who are responding from their opinion, and then they set their value based on that idea, rather than holding the value in front of them as a goal or as a vision and moving towards it and transforming their opinions to be able to meet and to greet that particular thought form. We know that it's done unto us according to our beliefs, so it's important that what we do is put our values as the highest priority that we can possibly find. Dr. Holmes, in Living the Science of Mind, said one of the most prolific fields for race hallucination, strange as it may seem, is the field of so-called revealed religion. Accumulated acceptances of pronounced beliefs have finally created such a subjective reaction to them that people believe all sorts of things, reasonable and unreasonable. He also says in Living the Science of Mind, therefore a person who would differentiate between subjective hallucination and opinion, between desire and reality, does well to analyze their own feelings, emotions, and mental reactions. This is probably the most important thing that we can do. When we put that value before us and hold it as being something that is our priority, that we choose to live from that expression and that experience, whether it be inclusivity, whether it be love, whether it be light, whether it be power, whether it be joy, whatever it happens to be. And we begin to move our opinions to be able to support that rather than having that become something different because we can justify it through our own hallucination. This is a powerful teaching. Don't get me wrong. This teaching through our own self-awareness and the awareness of what we think and how we think creates form for everyone, everywhere, all the time. And our opportunity that we have right now is to be able to transform the world by beginning to walk in lockstep with what we hold to be true, what we want to see, what we desire to have happen in our lives. Have a wonderful week. Please know that you're loved and that you're honored, and I'll see you next week. God bless you.
Yes, he will see us next week, because not only is he speaking at our wonderful 50th celebration on Friday, but he'll be here next Sunday to deliver the message next Sunday. Our spiritual leader, Dr. Ken Gordon, we're so grateful for him and that he'll be here. It's going to be an amazing Sunday. So I wanted you to get a sense of him. Some of you have seen him before and know how powerful he is, what a wonderful speaker he is, and how really committed he is to the transformation of life here on planet Earth, and particularly here in the United States. So, desire, opinion, and revelation. Desire, opinion, and revelation. Wow, what a week we've had. So last Tuesday was my class, and I got to class, and there was a beautiful red rose in a bud jar, and a little Valentine cupcake, and I knew who it was from. It was from Kathy Story, who often honors me as her teacher. I'm so grateful for you, Kathy, because it was a very great Valentine. And then Valentine's Day, Wednesday, I came to Wednesday's Wisdom, and Dave Friedman gave the most wonderful talk about love and all of the aspects of love, and you can watch it right on our YouTube channel. You don't have to have missed it, but it would have been better for you to have been here in person. So I'm just saying. But there I was on Wednesday, and I sat beside Nancy, and she said she wasn't going to come, and then she came because of the shootings. And I rarely turn on my television, I rarely turn on the news at all. And so to hear about those shootings in Florida, I was sat for the first part of his message in tears, flooded with sadness and grief that once more children would be unsafe in a school setting. And it's still very worrisome to me. Let me not smear you with my beliefs. So then the week unfolds, and Friday night I have nothing to do but watch the Olympics. And I had it recorded so I could start at the beginning and fast forward through anything I didn't want to watch or any of the commercials. And I got to the figure skating. I guess I'd watched the night before too, because I had watched the doubles and also been very moved there. By the time I got to the finalists, it was because I'd recorded it earlier. It was really late. It was time for me to go to sleep because I get up early on Saturdays to go to my aerobics class. So I said, I can watch it tomorrow. Well, it took me a long time to re-find it on my video recorder because there was no marking that that's where I'd pause. But anyway, I did find it. And I'm so glad I did. To see those, the last five skaters was to truly see desire, to see intention unfolding, to see such excellence and beauty. I mean, it was remarkable, breathtaking. breathtaking. And I was very happy that it happened in the order it did. And I have a couple of things I want to say about desire and intention that's so obvious here. So Nathan Chen, the American skater that had set the bar on the world stage through the world's figure skating for doing quadruple jumps. Now, quadruple jump means that in the air, you've turned around 4 times before your skates hit the ground. Now, when I was a skater, we did one jump. We thought that was like from one foot to the other foot, that was our big jump. Then in the Olympics, we'd see doubles and then the triples, but it wasn't until 1988, and it was a Canadian skater, Kurt Browning, who attempted the first quadruple jump in the Olympics. And he wasn't successful, and he came in 8th place. He had gone in as, just like Nathan Chen, as a favorite to win, because this was such a revolutionary idea in 1988. Now, it's pretty well compulsory if you're going to win a medal, to be able to go into a jump and do 4 revolutions in the air. Do we think it's going to go to 5? I think so. I think so. Because that's part of the evolution of consciousness, is that once someone proves something, once someone is able to do something, and other people can emulate it, then they get to do it too. But anyway, back to Nathan. So he went in as the favorite to get the gold, because he not only did one kind of quadruple jump, he did 5 different kinds. 5 different kinds of a quadruple jump. And he'd done that in his program. And on the short program, he had so many mistakes, so many falls, that they knew that he was so far behind, he couldn't get into those top 3 medals. It would have been a miracle. Well, he made that miracle for a while, because he skated a long program, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, which I'm told, or I read, that is like running a 4-minute mile. That 4-minute, 30-second long program, because the skaters are doing such a lot of work, covering so much ice, going not just around the ice, but up into these quadruple jumps. I mean, it's amazing, or triple jumps, or double jumps, whatever they're doing. It's amazing, the strength, the agility, and the artistry. But what does this has to do with revelation? What Ernest Holmes says, and it's really important for us to remember, that anytime we are intuitively feeling the presence of God and speaking from that awareness of God's presence, for most of us it is coming through our opinions, beliefs, and consciousness. It's influenced. It isn't a direct word of God, although it might be, but it's influenced by our past. It's influenced by our beliefs. So now you can have some empathy for the prophets that said, kill, kill, kill for the glory of God, because in their cultures, being just themselves and against others was what they did. The world is growing past that. So, the last skater came on also, so we already now know that the #1 men's figure skater is a Japanese man whose last name is Hanyu. I know because of Hanyu. I personally can't remember. Hanyu, and he was amazing. He was amazing. Everything he did, his whole being was one with the music, with the ice, and he did the quadruples in such a graceful way that it wasn't like, oh, wow, another jump. It was, the whole thing was glorious. But what I want to talk about is the last skater. So the last skater was also Japanese, and he turned out to be the silver medal winner. And he was so filled with passion. and he was skating to this piece that was very familiar to me. And the music was taking me into this place of tears and great longing. And I'm trying to find my Shazam on my phone so I could record and say, who is this? What is this? I know it. Well, anyway, I couldn't find the Shazam app fast enough. It was the 4 minutes and 30 seconds were already over, but I want to tell you who it was. Some of you already know. He was skating to Puccini's, help me now. Nessa D'Oro. From Toretto. And I had to find out how to pronounce that, so I asked Ed, and Ed told me, and then he asked Diane, so I got it. But here's why I want to talk about it, because I have told everyone that would listen to me that up until Michael Fennelly, I didn't like classical music at all, and I certainly was never going to an opera. Well, this is an opera. And the music is so exquisite. I don't know, it's Italian, right? It's written, but why would I don't know Italian. It isn't like I knew the lyrics consciously, but we all know the story. Because the story is just another boy falls in love with girl, or trying to get girl, and girl tricks him and is cold to him, and it doesn't work out. It could be the other way around. It's that unrequited love that, we're just really hoping for this love story to have a happy ending, but it doesn't. It doesn't matter what languages it's in. It is a universal language. So then I thought, so Heather, what were your tears? You didn't know this opera, you had to look it up to see what it was, and still, you were feeling this music. What beliefs within you are influencing God's word in you, your direction? And it has to be, see, it doesn't always influence in the same way, but there has to be still something within me that is attracted to that unrequited love. You know, that pine, or what never was and never will be, that. It must be, because it was so deep within me that I spent, quite a while finding out all these details. And that is, so here's what I want to say. You may not know consciously what beliefs, opinions, etc. are influencing you. But that race consciousness is far greater than your conscious mind knows. It's everything that's ever happened to anyone. All of the emotion of the race is in there. Race mind. And it's moving through us all equally all the time. So just a little review. How do things get to be the way they are? We have a belief, an idea. We have an idea that we are convinced is true, and then it becomes our experience. It becomes the forms in our lives. It becomes our relationships, it becomes our finances, it becomes our health. It becomes whatever it is that we're convinced it will become. And because the race has all of these beliefs, we need to do work to change those beliefs. We need to consciously plant seeds that will eradicate those false beliefs. Seeds of, I see so many couples here now, and they're couples that have been together a long time or a short time, and what I know is, what that means is that my consciousness is gradually changing to accept the idea that there is such a thing as true love. And is there such a word as requited love? Because I know there's unrequited, but there must be a requited, but it has to be the opposite. So, and everything happens that way, that the universe gives us information of what our beliefs are, and then we are at choice, either to rally against it and say, I don't like that, or to patiently and persistently plant new ideas in subjective mind, in conscious mind. We do that by doing our affirmative prayer work. We do it by meditating and getting clear about what's going on. I also know that each one of us is a difference maker. We can make more of a difference than we know. We can make a difference right where we are. We can make a difference in our families. We can make a difference in our nation. I read a wonderful, I think I might have read it on Facebook, but it was old. It was from Reader's Digest, 2014. And it was written by a woman who called her son's teacher and said, I don't get this math you're teaching my son. And the teacher said, well, of course, I'll tutor your son anytime that he needs extra help. She said, I don't mean my son, I mean me, I don't get it. She said, well, I'll tutor you, come on in. And so she went to his 5th grade teacher for tutoring, and the teacher explained the long division the new way, and it made more sense to the mother what her son was learning. But then they started talking about how this woman, the teacher who had worked for NASA before she left that to become a teacher, how she uses math everywhere, in everything. So she explained to the mom, one of those ways that she uses math is at the end of the day, every school week, every Friday, the kids get to write down who they'd like to sit with next week, get a secret ballot, who they like to sit with, and who they vote as the best citizen of the class. And then the teacher gets those slips of paper. Yes, and she says, and they know, they're told that just because they want to sit by someone isn't going to mean that they're going to sit. But every Monday, they get a new seating plan. And the purpose is she can see the patterns. She can see the patterns of who is never chosen. Who is never chosen to be sat with. And what she knows is that's going to develop a person who's going to be isolated, who's going to be a loner, who's going to make up stories about himself and others. And so she purposely uses those patterns, that mathematics, to help solve some social issues. She teaches children how to make friends if they seem to be socially awkward. She teaches children how to be with one another and how to appreciate one another's differences. The woman who's writing this story said, how long have you been doing this? And she said, ever since Columbine. She decided to make a difference where she could in her own classroom. We can make a difference right where we are, in our own communities. Because honestly, there's only one classroom, one student body, and we're all it. And what I know is once we get our bloated nothingness out of the ways of the divine circuits, meaning we're not going to let our old opinions and beliefs get in the way, we're going to move forward and allow some new ideas to move through us as love, as harmony, as joy, as truth, because over and over and over again, Ernest Holmes reminds us, how do we know that it's directly God? He says, it's so easy. Is this something that harms no one? Is this something that's life-affirming? Is this something that demonstrates the qualities of the divine? That's what we need to do. And this isn't about judging others, but knowing that every single person, every person, is doing the best he or she can, given where they are in consciousness. It's about us taking responsibility for our own lives and letting go of the false beliefs, no matter how romantic they might be, letting go of them. Do we want more of that pining, or do we want satisfying, fulfilling, joyful? I'm going to guess it's the second thing. I'm going to guess that we all agree. You are beautiful. I'm so happy you came today. To me, one last thing I want to share about my personal life. I got a Valentine from a secret admirer. And it was mailed from Santa Barbara, so I immediately called Darylyn and said, hey, am I the person? I have no idea who this is from. I don't know what you're talking about, but I still suspect Darylyn. Because she did admit that she has said Valentine's anonymously in the past. So anyway, it's a good thing. Life is a good thing. It's a wonderful week. Be who you really are, and so it is. And now we're going to pray. I take a moment and I remind myself of the power and presence of that one life that is God's life, of the goodness that it is, of the truth that it is, of the beauty that it is. I remind myself that this one that is self-sufficient, within which everything lies, and out of which everything comes about, that this one is right now building my body, silently, patiently, creating that which I believe, that this one that is vitality and energy and the life force itself is who I am, what I am. It's my beingness, myself. And I know that this is whatever I say is true for myself, is true for each and every other person. I know that I am love, and therefore I am loving and lovable. And I know that the things that I've admired in secret are now fully known and revealed. I know that I am that emissary for that greatness of God that is so good, that is so perfect, that God's glory is everywhere. I see it in nature, I see it in people I meet and talk to, I see it hear it in the wonderful music that is shared with us. I know that this one that is creativity is the creativity in me. It's the creative process, both in the individual and the universal. And so I am open and receptive to brand new ideas. I am open and receptive to a greater idea of myself, one that is without limits and without any kind of negativity whatsoever, one that is truly open at the top. I speak this word that I am one, not only with the wholeness and health and the love, but I am one with the prosperity, the abundance of this divine mind, that it is natural and normal and easy for that divine life to express itself abundantly. I just need to think about all of the sand, all the pebbles on the beach, all the sand on all the beaches in the whole world, and recognize that this is an abundant universe. And I am one with that abundance. And it comes to me in ways that are pleasing to me, and that I can circulate and multiply. I know that this is a universe of desire and of opinion, and I know that that desire, rightly used, brings forth the greatest good. I know that every Olympic competitor is within me in the germ. And there I stand with each one of them in all of their magnificence, celebrating who and what they are and what they bring to the world. I celebrate the love that they demonstrate at the end of their performances and with one another. I'm so grateful for this day, for this community, for this teaching, for Ernest Holmes, and with my heart overflowing with gratitude, I simply place this word in law. It is complete, and help me anchor it by joining with me and saying together, and so it is. And now, the Jewel Tones Choir.
Thank you so much, Heather. Our next song is called For the Beauty of the Earth.
Beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the skies, for the love which from our earth over and around us lies, over and around us lies.
You must all be staying up there. If the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. And we've been doing this in a really sacred way. So we've been taking a moment, saying our prosperity affirmation together, and then a moment of silence as we can continue to bless our money and knowing that money is just another expression of God and it's good. So let's do that now. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. is it? Whew. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Wade, and the rest of the choir. That was just so moving. Virginia has nothing on me. Thank you, Diane. Another spiritual practice is to be in service. And if you noticed, at the very first of the service, I stepped in and lit the candles. Because what we say is, ministers are always practitioners first. And there was a practitioner whose job I took, and I apologize, but I didn't see you coming forward. So would all of the people who are in service today, including all of our practitioners, please stand so we can give you a lot of love. All of them. Wow. So grateful for our choir, so grateful for our practitioners and for all. If the practitioners remain standing, if you want to transform your life, make an appointment with one of these people. You will be so happy you did. They are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer, and that will transform your life. To get a taste of that today, you can stop by one of the affirmative prayer tables or in the Tranquility Room. And the people in service today are Patrick Freeman, Fred Mercado, and Pam Rock, and Aiden Greeny. And so let's acknowledge our practitioners. And I'd also like to acknowledge anyone who's visiting us for the very first time today. We have a special gift for you if you identify yourself by being brave and standing up, or at least raising your hand. Wonderful. And look at how close you all are to each other. So keep your hand up or stand up, because people are going to deliver something to you. We need to see who you are. And we're going to affirm you, so just be prepared to have some love thrown at you. Okay, so please repeat after me. Welcome to our center.
Welcome to our center.
We are so glad you chose to be with us this morning.
We are so glad you chose to be with us this morning.
We know that you are a person who makes a difference.
We know that you are a person that makes a difference.
You are love.
You are love.
You are prosperity.
You are prosperity.
You are truth.
You are truth.
You make a difference by being with us. Thank you.
You make a difference by being with us. Thank you.
And so it is.
And so it is.
In the green bags, you'll find a welcome card, and if you fill out the welcome card and some other information and gifts, if you fill out the welcome card and take it to our bookstore, you'll receive another gift. It's a book. So, do we have some announcements?
We do.
Okay.
As you can smell, right after the service is our food, friends, and fellowship potluck. Enjoy a delicious meal and connect with your spiritual family. Then, join Conscious Connections for a small group discussion about the ideas you heard in the service today. It meets right here in the sanctuary at high noon.
And this week at Wednesday's Wisdom, Reverend Arpad, where are you? Ah, there he is. He will be presenting the Courage to Imagine. And whenever Reverend Arpad is in the room, it's always a good time. So come out, 7 o'clock Wednesday, and be inspired.
Our annual general meeting is on March 4th at noon. Please put it on your calendar. If you're a member and are not able to attend, fill out a proxy located at the back of the sanctuary.
And just so you know, Dr. Heather's class, You Can Heal Your Life, will not be this week because she will be at the convention. So it will resume next Tuesday at 6:30.
Our 50th anniversary party is this Friday. Join us in celebrating our 50 years, half a century of awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. There is a $50 fee to attend. Please see Grant and Rita McPhail in the back of the room to reserve your spot. Also, Pam Rock is getting a list of sponsors together for this party. Please see Pam if you'd like to make a tax-deductible sponsorship donation.
Would you like to accompany Dr. Heather on a trip? If you're interested, please see Reverend Carla at the back of the room and discuss the different options.
Spiritual trip. Yes. Not Las Vegas. Last Sunday we had unacknowledged flowers in front of the lectern, and they were from Don Walker in loving memory of our beloved Mary Jane Walker. Yeah. We love and miss you, Mary Jane.
now it's time to invite in our beautiful children.